Greetings, TDXans. My name is Remi, and as the title suggests, I'll be debating the infamous YouTuber Salts live on whether or not the Greek trio belongs in the expert rework. And of course, if you, dear viewer, wish to share your opinion, please do so in the comment section below. But with introductions aside, please enjoy the video. Recording? Okay, we're recording. We're live.
Alrighty.
Hello, my name is Remi. The next TDX upload is never. Today I have Salts here.
Yo.
So Salts, what are we doing here?
So, there throughout human history have been many nuanced debates. Many polar opposite opinions have clashed throughout humanity. Shoelaces or Velcro, peanut butter or jelly. Or of course, the reason we're gathered here today is, are the three mini bosses, Phoebus, Artemis, and Zeus from expert mode, a good boss, and are they at any reason fitting TDX's theme?
Interesting. And what is your stance on that?
I am of the stance that they are a good boss and should be in TDX and do fit the theme of the game.
Interesting. Well, I also think that they are a good boss. However, I do not believe that they belong in TDX and that they mess up TDX's theming.
Very well. Why do you say this, Mr. Remi?
Well, I say this because it ruins the order, or should I say the pre-established line of other bosses and enemies in favor of these random Greek bosses.
Okay, sorry, give me 1 second.
So stupid.
Sorry.
Right.
Can you repeat that? I was tabbed out, I'm not gonna lie. I was dealing with a certain individual was in my direct message.
Typical of you not to be listening to me.
Okay, all right.
So,
all right, we're getting.
I believe that it doesn't belong with the other bosses in TDX, i.e. the line of eradicators and predators. I would like to bring them to the stand right now. These guys, they are loved by the TDX community, and they clearly belong in TDX. However, if you were to bring the three mini bosses into the room with them, they would not visually look like they belong with the rest of the group.
Very well. Okay, I disagree.
Okay.
I think they are perfectly befitting as Dr. Xenon creations. They are inherently robotic in nature. They have the visual consistency to look like something Xenon made. They are not an eradicator and they are not a predator, but I do not necessarily think that is a bad thing, because one of TDX's biggest complaints that they get about their boss design is, we're sick and tired of the 40th eradicator variant being in the game. Me personally, I love eradicators, I don't mind seeing them, but I know a lot of people are getting tired of seeing a bunch of eradicators, and so I believe the TDX development team's philosophy behind these three bosses was, let's make something a bit different. And I don't think there's not an inherent, like, drastic artistic difference. They are, at the end of the day, they are still bosses. They still bear the Forge Industries insignia on them. They still very clearly fit within the TDX world.
Okay, so first of all, right? You could make up or not even make up. You can just spin any tale that, oh, Dr. Xenon one day decided to make a toaster because she makes robots, right? Anyone could just say that, right? You can make anything work, right? If Dr. Xenon somehow canonically made Jacobot, you can spin that tale. You can make that work. I'm not saying that.
Actually, you couldn't, because canonically Umbra made Jacobot, and therefore they couldn't have two creators. Therefore, my good sir, you.
What I'm saying is, you could spin any tale and make it work, right? There is no question that if Dr. Xenon wanted to, right? If she was crapping on a toilet and so happened to pick up a magazine about Greek gods, she would make a bunch of robots based on Greek gods. But with the pre-established design of robots and how she tends to make upgraded and better versions of things, it just doesn't make any sense to me that she just out of nowhere decided to make a bunch of Greek bosses, right? I think not only does it mess up what we already have established, but it just seems really random, right? And for you to say that, oh, the devs are listening to the community, right, and are making different bosses because some people said that they're tired of all these eradicators. First of all, there's like less than 10 eradicators, right? And the people who don't like that,
less than 10 is a crazy. Name one other tower defense game that has somewhat near 10 of the same boss type.
So you're saying the eradicators are the same? Is that what I'm hearing?
They're similar. They're not the same, but they are inherently similar because they are different models in a series of robots.
Right. But are they not just upgraded versions of one another? Isn't that the whole thing with Dr. Xenon and how she makes stuff even stronger and then upgraded?
I actually would disagree that the eradicators are inherent upgrades from one another. The eradicator system, each mark fills a different military purpose. Right. Mark 4 is inherently a siege machine, artillery, it's tanky, it's meant to fill that artillery archetype. Right. Mark 1, that's your mobile, your stealth, your, flies. Mark 1 is your all-around eradicator. Mark 2, that's heavy weapons. That's the guy you send to go blow a bunch of stuff up. Mark 1C, however, is an actual direct upgrade. It's, Mark 1 combat. It isn't eradicator that is meant more for combat rather than stealth. Right. And so I do not think the argument of Xenon only upgrade stuff is not true at all. Eradicators are inherently because as we know canonically now, because there's been some debate about this in the past, canonically there are multiple eradicators of each type. There are multiple Mark 2s, there are multiple Mark 1s, so on and so forth.
I think we're straying too far from the point.
Okay.
I think if anything, all that does is just proves my point that these eradicators, although they bear the same names, right, they're vastly different, right? And while like you said, they're not all just upgrades of each other, and yeah, I mean they're not all upgrades of each other. I'm just saying that that's like a common pattern that we see. It just goes to show that TDX not only is able to make a boss, right, and have different versions of them, but almost like up to 10 of them, right? And people be okay with that. Like you said, there's no other game that has 10 similar bosses that people are complaining about because nobody would ever do that. But TDX has done that in such a unique way where some people, right? Because like you said, there are some people that don't like that. There are another group of people that do enjoy this, right? Not only do they enjoy this, I think that's TDX's identity. And for them to just out of nowhere make these Greek bosses just ruins that image that they have, that all that creativity they had with making all these different variants of eradicators and predators even. So
objection. Okay. I would like to call surprise witness to the stand. Exo Santa, Ginger Dread. 2 random robots. Xenon made them. Why do they exist?
Because winter and Christmas exist?
Because Greek gods exist? That's your argument right now, Rem.
So
fall for the rage bait. Fall for the rage bait.
The reason why the Christmas bosses exist is because of Christmas. Why do the Greek bosses exist?
Variety.
And
exist for visual variety.
And have the other eradicators not demonstrated variety?
In gameplay, yes. In thematic differences, no.
How so?
All eradicators look like an eradicator.
Isn't that not
the Greek squad is adjacent looking to an eradicator? Yes, it looks like a Xenon robot, but it is still unique enough to itself to where it is a new type of Xenon robot.
Like I said before in the beginning, you could definitely make the argument that Dr. Xenon made the new Japanese toilet. This toilet will pamper you, whatever. You can make that argument.
They're not toilets, though. They're combat robots.
It just ruins the theming.
It does not, Remy. It does not. disrupt the theming. They are Xenon builds machines of war to kill things. What are the Greek Squad? Would they not be defined as a machine of war that kills things like the Eradicator?
You could totally make that work. However, it completely ruins the theming of everything else she's done. It undermines.
It does not.
How so?
The Greek Squad existing does not make the Eradicators any less cool. It does not make the Predators any less. It does not even stop us from getting new.
It makes Dr. Xenon less cool.
It does not. It shows she has a wide variety of skills when she makes stuff.
Has that not been demonstrated with the Predators and Eradicators? There was no question.
What?
There was no question in her ability to make a variety of robots.
She's made 2 types of robots and then has made a bunch of variants of those 2 types. Like if we're looking at the Xenon robots as like a family tree, by your logic, you have two families, the Predators and the Eradicators. They keep making more models of that. Those are some pretty inbred Eradicators at the bottom of the tree. You need some other external families. External robots.
So by your logic, we're marrying a bunch of outsiders to bring in our family.
Yeah, so that way there is genetic diversity in the Xenon. It's healthy to have
the only reason why we're marrying outside is to have diversity. So you're for DEI? Is that what I'm hearing? Oh, let's go back.
Hey, Salts, we need to collab. We should have a debate about this thematic issue we've been talking about. Salts, you're for DEI. That's what this is about.
I would like to bring in a wild card. I would like to bring in a wild card. I'm going to bring in the Destructor to the stand. What does he have to do with the line of everything else? What is he doing here? What is he doing here?
He's here to destroy the GDA. What else would he?
I believe that he just doesn't fit. He doesn't fit in. He's just some random robot that anyone could have made. And it goes beyond that. His music track, his soundtrack, right, is very retro themed. So it really just seems like they plucked a random boss from just anywhere and decided to put it in expert. I don't get it.
See, so we can actually counter this by canonically, before making the Destructors, Dr. Xenon went to a 90s themed neon rave. And she was inspired.
I said before in the beginning, you can make that argument with anything. It just doesn't make any sense.
Listen, Remi, I'm not gonna say that Destructor and the Greek Squad have good narrative buildup because that is just not true. They do not have good narrative buildup. My disagreement with you stumbles from the fact that they do not look TDX. They inherently look like something Xenon would make. They inherently look like something the GDA would be fighting. They inherently look like they belong in the game.
But does that justify their existence? Because you could make the argument that okay, they are very clearly TDX enemies. Does that mean that they should belong there? If anything, yes. If anything,
because okay, say Destructor got reworked into Eradicator laser mode.
The best way we could implement them in the game is by including them in something like Endless. Where after a certain waypoint, you start introducing random enemies like the Santa bot, like the previous other event bosses, like the toilet boss, like the golden bosses. I think that's where they belong. I think they belong in that group of enemies. I don't understand what that has to do with expert. I don't understand what that has to do with the line of Eradicators and Predators and the pre-established enemies. They stick out like a sore thumb. They don't fit in that mode. They don't fit with everything else in that mode. Maybe, you know what, maybe if the Eradicator Mark II Plus was Kratos bot, then that would make a lot more sense. Because not only have you set him up, right, to be a Greek boss with the other Greek bosses, right? Boom! It just makes more sense because you've set him up to be that. But since there's only just those 3 random mini bosses that are Greek themed, along with the Eradicator Mark II, for the Eradicator Mark II Plus, it just doesn't make any sense.
Okay,
Maybe,
I will say
maybe,
this.
Maybe.
I will say this.
The
Alpha is speaking. The alpha is speaking.
I'm cutting that out.
The alpha is speaking. No, you're not. You are not cutting that out. You're not cutting that out. I do not think Destructor fits Expert. I think if it's TDX, I do not think it belongs in Expert. Because Expert narratively is very much themed. We can see this in the trailer, and we can see this in how start talking near the end. Expert inherently is themed around Xenon's grudge against the GDA. That is the entire thing. Has she not
always had a grudge?
Okay, it is, but Expert in of itself is more personable to Xenon. Because again, we see this in the trailer. Her original Mark II design kept getting bodied by the GDA. She got frustrated with it, made a new one. Modern Expert now exists. And so
is that hold on.
I would like
to that. Isn't that what defines Dr. Xenon as a character? That she saw that her previous creation was absolutely rubbish, so she made an upgraded version of it? Does that define her as a character?
I'm not saying that Xenon does not upgrade stuff.
So
Mark II Plus.
Wouldn't it make more sense if she just had, I don't know, Predator Plus instead of just random Greek bosses? Wouldn't that make more sense?
Look at the Greek Squad's design. You know what their actual theme is? Because it's not, outside of the names being Greek, that is not what they're themed around. They are inherently themed around Xenon herself. They are the only bosses in the game. They are the only bosses in the game, other than Xenon and Emperor actually, that have the Xenon X on them. Artemis has it on her chest, Zeus has it on his vest, Phobius has it on his shield. They are inherently Xenon bosses. Like they are so personally connected to Xenon herself. Kind of like, because there's that big theory that Xenon's gonna pilot the Emperor is the only other boss we've ever seen that has that X on. And so you can connect that X to Xenon because she has it in her like halo thing above her head. There is clearly a connection other than robot that connects Xenon and the Greek Squad.
Okay, a lot to unpack there. Right? I will say that the Emperor, like the Emperor, like I don't. That's a whole nother debate. But again, in the beginning, like I said, you can make anything work. You could say Dr. Xenon invented the Apple products within the GDA universe, and then have her name plastered, and it just makes sense. You could do that. But it goes against everything that TDX has built up. And that is my biggest problem. I think that it doesn't fit the theming of what TDX has built up. You can make it so that, what's it called? Dr. Xenon has made every single tablet or made every single technological device in the GDA universe.
But why, Remi? But why? That is such a random thing of like, if Xenon made a toilet, what's going on with that?
You can make anything work as long as it goes along the basis of their character. Like for example, let's see. Walter White. He could, if you make an episode where out of nowhere he starts making cocaine, that would make sense because he's a chemist and he's a genius. He could totally do that. But it doesn't go with everything that he's done. He's been making meth. Meth is his thing. Is it not? So would that not be completely random and ruin the theming if he just up and out of nowhere just makes cocaine? There is no question of his intelligence, of whether or not he can make cocaine. He 100% definitely could cook up cocaine. But does that make sense in the story and in the theming? No, absolutely not.
Okay, but Remi, at the end of the day, that's like saying all of a sudden TDX becomes about Xenon making Japanese. At the end of the day, like what I was telling you earlier before we started this recorded debate here, is the Greek Squad still? Are you here? You just DC'd from Xbox.
I just get up. Oh crap.
Technical difficulties.
Yep. Oh, it's because I was AFK. I was AFK.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Holy crap! Were you moving your mouse?
Yeah.
Okay. You want any water? Anything? A little pee break? Little piss break?
No.
No.
No, I'm about to close you down, bro.
You about to close? You gotta. Is that a promise? You gotta
Dude. This is a professional event.
Hey, the cameras are off, bro. The cameras are off.
Sure, buddy.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Are we? All right.
Hey, too far.
Okay, little bro. You're leaking my full ass today. All right. Oh yes, the Greek Squad inherently still matches the Xenon, like the Eradicator aesthetic to an extent. They, like Zeus, for example.
And that extent is my problem. Why have it to be an extent? Why can't it? I don't understand why it can't like fully match the theming. Why does it have to be? Oh, but like technically, it does. But why does it have to be like that?
Variety. I've said this 500.
Let me say this like for the 17th time. And has TDX not shown Dr. Xenon's capability of making variety with the pre-established theming?
No, not really.
Exactly.
No.
There has never been a question whether or not. Dr.
And that
Xenon
is a
could
criticism a lot of people have with TDX. Is a lot of the bosses the same.
And should TDX base their base their game
to an extent? Yes, they should listen to the community with artistic.
But like
because,
you said,
because Remi, let me bring
like
TDS
said,
into the fray
like
here.
You said before,
Remi, the alpha
so
is
why
speaking.
should,
The alpha
so
is
why
speaking.
should TDX
The alpha is.
follow?
Listen, Remi, the TDX should inherently listen to their community to an extent. I'm not saying do everything the community says because, well, there'd be a lot of issues.
Exactly.
But look at a game like TDS. Fundamentally abandoned what made TDS unique narratively. They started chasing that God Cube, which completely killed the game, story, theming, and all that crap.
Right. So, what's the...
TDX needs to listen to their community, because with TDS, they didn't. And for a lot of people, myself included, they feel like such a fundamentally different game from what it was then. Does this mean don't change anything, stay in the past? No, and that's why slight changes like the Greek Squad from the Eradicator are because they stay linked to the game's true purpose,
I have no problem at all. I have no problem at all with TDX making new innovations. I have no problem with that, right?
I don't know, man. The Greek Squad innovation's apparently the worst.
That's not even my problem with that is that it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit what they. You know what? Let me take TDX, right, and them making some new innovation and using that as a good example. The avatars. The avatars were a staple of Endless, right? Since them appearing randomly across the map, that was a staple to TDX as a game, right? And now, as we see in the Nightmare trailer, they're actually making a second one. Does that not scream variety? Does that not scream innovation? And that fits the theming too.
It's the same look though, with like the avatar. Like, sure, it's cool, but like, it's still an avatar. Because again, Remi, why should Xenon make avatars? They looked different from the Predators. They looked different from the Eradicators, and they had almost narrative build-up.
But it makes sense. What separates?
What separate? How? What makes the avatar so good? That is my question.
It's because their names are inherently like nobody would know like what an avatar is outside of TDX. Maybe like the blue people, like the airbender, right? Like that's what. But they have that sense of originality with them that the Greek gods do not. Because why do we call them the Greek trio? It's because they have Greek names. Dr. Xena has never done that before. The Predators, the Eradicators, the Avatars, they all have very original names. So TDX including avatars into their game makes sense. And then for them to make a second avatar makes even more sense.
Why? Remi, do you want to know why the Greek Squad have Greek god names?
Why?
Because each of the units, their abilities correspond with the Greek god they are named after.
I am not questioning why those
Phobius
designs have
as a
those
Greek
names.
god
I'm not questioning
is about
that. I'm
radiance.
questioning their presence in the game. If Halo were to add a Fortnite flopper into the game, I'm not gonna question why that flopper is called the flopper. I'm gonna question why there's a flopper in Halo.
Why is there an avatar in TDX then?
Because it makes sense. It follows the theming. Dr. Xenon is making more robots.
So do the Greek trio, bro.
I just don't see the point why she had to name them after Greek gods. I don't understand why they have to have.
It's less of the fact that it is Greek gods and more of the names are connected to their abilities. That is why.
But why? Why? Dr. Xenon has never had to. TDX has never had to do that before. They've never had to make a robot that has their abilities based on something else. No, they've never had to do that. So why do it now? I just don't understand.
I don't know.
So you agree?
No.
How come?
Because your issue is that they don't belong. I don't know why Xenon did this, because again, I've told you this. They don't have good narrative build-up. I'm not disagreeing with that, but fundamentally they look like they belong in TDX, and I don't...
And
we've been going in circles.
Be enough. That shouldn't be the bar. TDX shouldn't just add a toilet bot because that is something Dr. Xenon would do. They shouldn't do that. Just because it makes sense doesn't mean they should do that.
Toilet bot.
I don't see it. I just don't see why. It undermines the creative team and their direction with how they make stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. And it's not like
the Greek squad in of themselves are the Greek squad in of themselves are something that the creative team made. For example, the new gun robot from Nightmare. It's fundamentally different.
Okay, because that is like a whole...
And because a TDX concept artist has told me this himself, it is because the creative team wanted to explore a different direction. And 99% sure that is what they did with the Greek squad as well, and probably also Destructor.
But there are better ways to do it. There are better ways to do it by
forcing the creative team to make another Eradicator or Predator variant?
No, absolutely not. But it's better than basing these bosses off of pre-established things. They've never done that before. They've never had to do that before. So why are they doing it now?
The bosses,
for example,
they are so minimally they are connected to their corresponding Greek god, but it is not like Zeus himself is walking out onto the field. It's a robot with lightning powers. Like
right, but they don't need to call him Zeus. They could call him Eradicator Mark Z.
That still connects it to Zeus.
No, it is not. But that is turning a Eradicator, right? An Eradicator which follows the theming, but giving it Zeus-like powers. That makes sense.
Because they wanted to make them more personable. Like I said earlier, they had a personal connection to Xenon. It is entirely.
Which is not a good choice.
It is not ridiculous to say.
I don't think it's a good choice.
The Greek squad is probably something unique to Xenon. Listen, Remi, we can keep going in circles here because neither one of us are tracking each other's freaking debate or
I'd let you
opinion here.
I'd let you crack.
Hey, make sure to go to youtube.com/AuthenticSalt.
Alright, whoever you agree with, let us know in the comments below. Holy crap, this video's like 30 minutes long.
Yeah. Also, remember, if you agree with me and go subscribe, you're really cool. And if you agree with Remi and you subscribe to Remi, you're I'm not gonna
say it.
Shout out. No, shout out because I am a Remi sub myself. Subscribe to Remi, you guys. He's the guy who inspired me.
Oh, that's a nice video. Yeah, when this
we're messing with each other a lot here.
He's making his first video. I was there to support him. I was there.
No, on a real note, sub to Remi. I love this guy. We're just memeing around.
Sub to YouTube/AuthenticSalts.com. You know, he's the go.
YouTube.com
He's
slash authentic.
he's actually doing daily uploads, and if he doesn't make a daily upload, then you should automatically unsubscribe. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll take that challenge.
All right. Bye bye.